So I am live. I am working on being better with sharing all of the stuff I'm excited with on social media. And I thought I would start with really sharing about my most recent passion project and kind of get people up to speed. Anyone that knows me knows I've been in motion for about the past year and a half. But the backstory is about a year and a half ago, I decided to retire. I was running a small 5-acre farm in South Carolina that had a really cute country cafe, and I was running a farm to table restaurant and catering company and a few other really cool things that I've had the privilege of doing, like building tiny houses and having a campground and a bubble ball soccer field and a drive-in movie theater during COVID. And I decided to retire. It was time for a new chapter to emerge. And with no small children or anyone that I had to be responsible for, I told my kids I'm going to take a gap year. When you can be anywhere in the whole wide world, it's like, where do you go? And I was kind of in that like predicament of, okay, you want to do, you want to have a new chapter, so what you gonna do, where you gonna go? And I didn't really know, and I said, I'm just gonna go and see what curiosities come up or where I feel led to go. And I began looking at Central America, and then this place in South America, Ecuador, kind of got on my radar. And like life happens, where I ran into someone on a whole nother adventure who had lived in Ecuador of all places. And somehow our conversation opened up that door. And several other things happened that said, go check it out. Like I was supposed to be going to Costa Rica and they canceled the entire flight. And I was like, well, I guess Costa Rica is not on this month's itinerary. And I rebooked that flight and planned to do an exploration trip in Ecuador. And that's what I did. I began looking, and there were a lot of things that really kind of connected with me. And this new chapter of what are your passions, and what if you actually went and like lived those passions. And so when I got here, I was on a trip, and this was kind of one of like towards the end of my trip. And the other cities I had gone to, I was like, nope, don't want to live here. Nice places to go visit. There wasn't anything wrong with them, but like, what is it you're looking for? Like, I realized I didn't want heat real quickly. I don't want heat, and I don't want humidity, and I don't want mosquitoes if I can avoid that. And so I had this idea, I grew up in California, like, oh, it'd be nice to be back on the Pacific Ocean. Like, that would be cool. Like, you've been in the South for a very long time, like to be back on, that side of the world. And then I realized it comes with, heat and humidity for like 4 months out of the year. And then in some of the areas along the coast, like it's kind of overcast and gray the other 8 months, where the temperatures are more comfortable for me. And I just realized, nah, that's like that's gone. That's gone. I didn't really mean that, once I really got into that experience. And then I went to one city, it was really big, and I was like, I don't like the feel of this. And then it was like really high elevation. So like waking up in the middle of the night gasping for air was like kind of scary. And I was like, nah, I can't do this high elevation. And if I want to go and come, and my first year I did lots of going and coming. And when I got to Cuenca, it felt pretty. I was like, man, this city is beautiful. And it was the old world and the new world. It was the culture. It was the motion. It was the sights and the colors and the architecture. And like on the very first morning, I come in really late, so it was dark. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had checked into my place and went to sleep. But I had gotten up like late mid-morning to get something to eat. And like on that very first trip out of my hostel into the plaza that I had been watching out my window, I see the city come to life. I went out, and like it was just motion, but it was people dressed in like indigenous wares, like the pictures that I would see in National Geographic as a kid, the embroidered skirts that look like velvet, or the hats, or the braids hanging down like my grandmother used to wear, and these long plaits that hang down on both sides. And it just felt beautiful to me. And life twists, turns, opportunities, and before I left, I had leased an apartment here in Cuenca, and a year and a half later, I'm finally visa approved. I have my temporary residency, which is a big move to be able to, put roots down in a community, put roots down in another country. So with that kind of settled, and that just happened on the 21st of December, and that was my Christmas present, to self. But I've spent the past year developing this place that has been part of my vision for how we fix community, and I decided to call it the International Welcome Center, on purpose. Um, if you find the website, it's www.globalundergroundrailroad.com. But part of that really is the story of why. Um, I've been working on community for a long time. How do we fix it? And we know how to fix housing. We know how to fix food. I've worked in those areas. And the part of the equation that I still haven't seen a whole lot of work happening, where the momentum moves faster than the deterioration of society, and that's the healing. Because I began to realize years ago when I started this work that the best technology we have, if we don't help people heal, we're the weakest link. When we have issues, and we got them for a whole lot of reasons, but mainly because we live in a traumatizing world. I got issues, you got issues, we interact, we make each other worse. That's how it works. And so eventually, unless we're doing very intentional work in the opposite direction, like the healing direction, each time we interact, oftentimes we both leave that situation worse than we came into it. And we're doing that on a society level, and it's outpacing the healing work. And so part of this is, though, but that paradigm is still dying. Doing things the way we've been doing things, in a way that is destructive on so many levels, to our interpersonal relationships, to the environment, to just the whole breakdown of society that's happening on a global scale right now. Change happens. It happens slowly, but crisis oftentimes speeds that need for change up. And we're seeing the social paradigm shift, but do we have tools that help us to live differently? And I think that those tools, for me, what I've seen in how we fix community, is healing. And so because I didn't see enough of that with tools that were working well enough, quick enough, that became a part of this passion work that has fueled me for almost 20 years. And when I retired, I said, if I could go do anything, I'd build a healing center, and I'd bring people to be able to have rest and to be able to learn some of the tools that we have developed over these years, that we've watched to see, do they work? Do they help us heal? And I'm real particular about that. You see a lot of people in spiritual circles and healing circles. And you say, is it working for you? Good information. We can fake it till we make it, but that's not how healing works. It's, does it work for you? And I felt like, how are we going to create tools if they don't work? Healing tools are supposed to work. So does it work for you? And I took that seriously. Like, doing community work is hard. There's sacrifice in it, I'm gonna be sacrificing to help fix community and it doesn't fix me. That's just not, that's not the kind of work that I'm interested in doing. That's noble for those that choose to live life that way, but that's not what I had an interest in. If these tools are tools for healing, then I need some healing too, because I got issues. And the more you work in healing, the more you can recognize your issues, if healing's really working for you. And so I began carefully to look at some of these tools as we were developing. to make sure that I was getting the benefit too. Because I think that too is part of the new paradigm. It's not a do as I say, but not as I do paradigm. It's the paradigm that says I can't tell you how to do it if I can't do it. I can't lead it if I can't live it. And so these are tools that I carefully used. And then when I began to realize that they were effective, I began to use them in the community, sheltered ways, very carefully. But the benefits are there. The benefits are there in that we can do healing in different ways. And so part of this is about those who really see or feel, because sometimes you feel it before you can even put words to it, that it's time for you to leave the old paradigm. Like our places for those people. It's to say, yeah, what happens if you take a step out of that paradigm? Like, it's scary out there, because what's next? How do we do differently when all we've known is this? And part of that's the purpose of this. This is about equipping individuals with tools to be able to heal, but to be able to lead community in ways that are sustainable. But it starts with us. You can't lead nobody if you can't do it. You know, I'm not doing any healing work. How am I leading you? I'm leading you through all of my damage, and that's not getting us there. I mean, we see how that's working for us. We see how our leaders who can't live these principles are faring. It's not working. It's not working. And so I'm really excited about this. I've said I'm going to be more diligent in sharing what's happening, because I really am excited about what's happening down here. Let me give you a few things about some of the programs and initiatives and offerings that will be available. We do the Healing Vacation Retreats. Let me tell you about that. They are week-long retreats. They can be extended for longer than that, but they're week-long. And they give people, first of all, rest. It's a lack of compassion to ask people to do healing work, because healing work is hard. Let me just not sugarcoat it. It's hard work. But if something in life doesn't give, then it's hard to take the emotional energy from lives that are already stretched all the way. And so first, it's coming to a place. We've worked really hard to create a really comfortable center here. But you come away to be able to relax. That's the first thing. There's some excursions that let you take advantage of not just the culture of this community, but the healing. One of my most favorite excursion right now, subject to change, is the healing spas. This is one of the areas that the hot springs come out of the old volcanoes and bring up all of these minerals and a whole bunch of things they tell us about when we go there. But it's a week to be able to come away to rest. But that rest is on purpose. You know, some vacations you just go and you just chill and hang out. The rest is to be able to give you the capacity to buy some of that emotional energy to be able to put into healing. We work with you on our trauma resolution work. We teach you the tools, because your healing is your responsibility. As much as we may have people that help us and coach us through throughout our journey at different points, whether it be books, whether it be videos, whether it be someone that works with you, it may be a therapist, it may be a transformational coach, but it's your responsibility. It's your life. Yeah, stuff happened, but now it's your life now, and you can choose whether to change it or not. And so the Healing Vacation Retreats, we book those privately, private individuals, groups, or families. We have a guest house that's a self-contained unit, so families that want to come and be able to take part in the Healing Vacation Retreat. We've got facilities ready for you. We've got a total of 8 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms here between our way station and our guest house. But part of that is a self-contained units for family groups or leadership teams within your organization. And then in 2024, we're in 2024 now. So this year, we've got some scholarship funding, and there's a whole lot more I can tell you about it. And over the days to come, I will be, but it's geared for women. And so it's one of the first initiatives of our Women Heal Together program. You can find the website, www.womenhealtogether.com. and learn more about the Village Builder retreats that we'll be having this year. We'll be conducting 3 of them, and we've got some scholarship funds that will help cover part of the cost for those retreats. But the real focus of that is to be able to create healing teams. The scholarship allows each woman applicant to bring another person with them, because we want you to go back home and have someone that's connected to your healing team. But we also teach practical skills. That Village Builder has a second week as part of that retreat, where we do our 6 Ways Not to Die curriculum, as well as our intro solar building. And so individuals will learn the physical aspects. Back in the day, they used to call it survival training or survival skills. But these are practical skills on building community. Like at the basics, do you know how to do things like purify water, set up housing, build a solar system, cook off grid, build a rocket stove? Like, do you know some of the practical aspects of it? And so the second week of this training that's women centered will be learning those practical skills. Like you literally will build a convertible community crisis village here, and you'll learn those skills hands on. And so our hope is that we're sending these teams, and part of this scholarship fund is to be able to send healing teams back into communities. We've got the funding to be able to supplement some of the fees for up to, I believe, 12 teams of individuals that are women-led. So 24 individuals, 12 teams of women, to be able to come down and get those practical skills, not only the rest and the healing, but the practical skills of building community. And our hopes is that they go back and truly become those social first responders in the communities that they have roots in. And then we have some other projects with building intentional communities, and I'll talk more about that later. But we're setting some dates of hopefully doing some groundbreaking on one of the convertible communities that we'll be building. That'll be an intentional community that's built to be sustainable. Built to be sustainable and be able to run off grid and just use the appropriate technology that we have, but also design it with the social tech, with the aspects of how we become community as well. And so I've got some exciting projects that I want to share with people. I want them to know about what's happening down here since I've left the States and I'm down in Ecuador now. I'm down here building the International Welcome Center, and building intentional communities, and I'm excited about that. I'll be talking more in the days to come about some of the collaborations that we're looking for, those that are involved in healing. We want to collaborate with you on some of the retreats that we do, where we can bring what we have to offer together and be able to give more to individuals. We'd like for our facility to be used. And we're also developing the co-housing hub here. So for individuals that are thinking about making a step out of the old paradigm and maybe thinking about South America, or individuals that are connected with this purpose of creating a learning center for building physical communities, from the social aspects to the physical aspects. We're creating a space here as a co-housing hub for individuals that either come in for short terms, 3 months or 6 months, and for individuals that want to come and connect with us full time. So some of the housing that we have available as a part of this center, we're looking for individuals that want to connect in a deeper way, that we find greater points of connection to come and work together. And so for individuals that may be interested in the co-housing hub, or the Women Heal Together retreats, or booking a vacation retreat here in our facility, we'd love for you to reach out. Our projects have different websites, so the womenhealtogether.com website, but all of our collaborative partners are listed on our nowastetime.com website. And so you can find the links there for the different projects, the International Welcome Center, or the Women Heal Together retreats. We want you to help us share the word so that it gets out to women that there is scholarship funds available that offsets, I think, a little more than 50% of the cost for the training. So we're excited about that. We're excited about these things that I'm passionate about. I'm excited about working with community leaders, individuals who feel really called to being a part of a network, creating solutions for how we fix what we see. And I'm excited to be doing it in Ecuador. It's a place that I'm growing to love, and it's just got a richness to it that I'm enjoying, in my own healing journey. Like, this is healing for me. It's another level of freedom to be able to come and say I'm doing exactly those things that I'm passionate about. So, if people say, so how did you leap from farming to this? Like, it's all about fixing community. And this is the next chapter of life. This is my retirement passion work. I'm going to retire so I can go do these things that I'm passionate about. And what would that be? I can hear my dad saying, like, and what would you go do if you could go do anything? And it was like, I think I'll move to Ecuador and build a healing center and like find some buddies and go build like physical intentional communities, like really cool ones. I mean, maybe some geodesic domes and some SIPs and some solar panels and a whole bunch of other really cool things that we're going to get to do and build into some of these projects. And so we're looking for co-conspirators to come and help us or be a part of it in some way. So if any of this stuff is of interest, reach out. NoWastedTime.com has contact information, or I probably have gotten like my link tree or something in my bio, or like reach out and find me, send me a message. But I'm excited about this and excited, and I'll be sharing more in the days to come. I'm excited about some of the projects that are on tap for this year. So it's like, hurry up 2023. It was a good year for me. It was really a good year, but like I got some more projects to do that are fueling my passions, and I'm finding some really cool friends and accomplices to join in with me. So I'll try to share more of that. I'll be sharing more of that on social media because I want others to know. I want them to know what we're doing and how we too can be a resource if they're passionate about healing community. We want to be a resource in that work. We want to connect with others who are passionate about this work as well, because I think this is one of those times where we can do more if we do it together. And we're building community. You can't build community in isolation. Building community is a collaborative work. And so we've set out to do that. And my slice of the pie is the International Welcome Center here in Cuenca, Ecuador. And so thanks for letting me share. I'll be sharing a whole lot more in the days to come.